Okay, so I want to talk a bit about archetypes and symbolism and something that I'm experimenting with right now. So I am putting together a website um, for people who would like to um, get a copy, draw down, look at their sidereal human design chart. I'm also working on the sidereal astrology chart on this website, and I will leave it in. It's actually in the bio notes somewhere on the links on the page. So I I have been okay. This is one of the things that happened to me some years ago. I, Somewhere around 2017, I started falling out of faith with just about all the things I had been practicing: energy work, astrology, symbolism, dream symbolism, everything. I just started questioning everything. And like I said, it had, when I finally realized that it was very similar to what I had experienced when I started questioning my religious tradition, that falling out of faith. I I didn't like. I want to say the anguish was reduced, but I'm not sure that's actually true. I made room for it. I made room to allow it to happen, and everything that I did, all of the things that I offered, all the things that I taught, the things that I studied, I I let it go, or it let go of me. I'm not, both, so I'm not sure. So I I just wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure. But what I was sure about was that we needed new symbols and new archetypes. We needed new archetypes, really. We needed new stories. And I started understanding, I'm like, okay, we just need new. We need new story. We need an upgrade. Like, we've been living off of the old carcass. And that's really harsh and extreme. And I still love old stories. I have been listening to a Jungian analyst who's also an astrologer who loves the fairy tales. And I grew up in Germany. I grew up in freaking Germany, where, like, the home of fairy tales. I mean, every culture is the home of fairy tales, but the and I understand it was a collection of old wives' tales and other people's stories. Like, I just learned that the Snow White story is like 4,000 years old. Can you believe that? Not the Disney version, which was fun. I mean, that was fun. It's probably where I was introduced to Snow White. But if you go back and read the Grimm's fairy tales and Hans Christian Andersen, a completely different experience. Those stories actually seem to have timelessness to them. And I love them, and I definitely want to talk more about those because I love myths and stories, and they are robust enough to travel with us. Now, the pop culture relationship with astrology and with tarot and with dreams, those are our symbols. Those are our inner and outer stories. And I wasn't feeling it anymore. So I took a step back for years. And that means that I would dip into a class from time to time and feel pretty flat about things. Every once in a while, I would come across a practitioner who was doing some really deep, very esoteric work, and I would sit with that for a while. But I think that I needed to let a lot of stuff go. I think I needed to let a lot of stuff go. I have been working with astrological language since I was thinking about this a couple of days ago. Since junior high, I think it was junior high that I had my first writing assignment. And I was brought into one of the schools that I went to, the newspaper, and they wanted someone to write the horoscopes. and I'm pretty sure Rob Bresney was around at the time. And I loved his style because it was so quirky, and I loved that. It was just, my mind was fed by the weirdness of his words. And so I tried to do horoscopes like that. Honestly, I don't remember how successful I was. I do remember how exhausting it was to come up with that I think we did it monthly. And I have never since then been into producing like daily or monthly horoscopes for myself or other people. I'm just not into that. It's too much work. People who do that, bless you, because it's a lot of work. So I, like so many of us, grew up on the tropical zodiac system, and it made sense. And in the areas that it didn't make sense, first of all, there's so many layers to astrological language and history that nobody is going to know everything. And there are so many personalities approaching the work, like that body of work that's been passed down to us for thousands of generations. Or maybe it's thousands of years. But like, nobody's going to be able to look at the whole system and present it back to us in a whole way. We're all going to be looking at it from aspects and elements, within, without, above, below. So I've spent a lot of years like sitting with the elements of my chart. And it's been very interesting. And I'm much more interested in teaching other people how to do that for themselves as a contemplative practice, to be able to sit with the archetypes that speak to us and through us. And I'm using this word archetype. I would like to find other words, but themes, but like unseen themes, vibrational themes. Okay, so I was introduced to sidereal, I don't know when, some years ago. And the first time I sat with that chart, first of all, my brain was like, what? Because things are going to look different. You're going to be somebody else in that chart until you start sitting with it. And so over the years, I have come to understand that even though like the emphasis of my perception is shifted over here, it's like it's still having maybe the same overall themes of conversation. The quality of my speech, the way that I express myself through sidereal versus tropical, it's shifted, and it's like putting on it's like being I'm thinking of the actors on stage, and if you have someone who's doing a monologue and they're able to take on different personas within the same character, it's kind of like that. I'm still working this out, but this is the thing. I'm not interested in telling you who you are in your chart. I will point you towards the tools. And so this website, you can go in and enter your information. It will pull up your sidereal chart, not your tropical. And the reason for that is, for one thing, I am working with my sidereal again, and it's the human design chart. So it's going to be, I really love systems coming together. My mind has always been interested in the connections between things. So there is so much about human design that I do not understand, and I'm not even going to pretend to right now. But the elements that really speak to me are the I Ching, because I work with that text. I work with the text I Ching on my own on a regular basis. And the astrological signature, and then the gene keys, because the gene keys are like, that's where I can be contemplative, and I love the contemplative space. So I'm offering this. There's no charge to you to pull your chart and look at it. This site is in development, so right now people are able to download the PDF of just the body graph, the additional information that goes into your gates, and you'll just see a bunch of words and numbers. You want to screenshot that for now if you want that information. I'm working on fixing it, like extending that out, but I haven't figured it out yet, and I don't want to wait until it's perfect. It's there. You can get the body graph. You can go back and visit the chart if you need to, and there's no cost to you. I will be offering an extended report that helps you understand, especially if you're new to human design. It'll help you understand in depth. That will be a paid offer, but I haven't got that set up yet. What I would like to do, what I feel even in this unformed, unfamiliar state of myself, I love helping people approach ourselves as a contemplative practice. Like, we are our own contemplative practice. And that means a lot of things, and I'm not going to be able to explain what that means. Maybe ever is what occurs to me, but certainly not in this video. But I will begin to offer ways of considering our patterns, our habits, the opportunities that are appearing, and the closures that are happening. And there's so much more to that. And I would like to, for the time being, I would like to do that through symbolic language, because I love symbolic language, and I'm ready to learn it again and find ways to apply it to whatever it is that's going on in our species right now, and the rest of the world. I really, something else that I've worked on for many, many years is being sure to keep the human in nature. We often separate ourselves from the natural world, so we're not a part of the natural environment. We say things like, I'm going to go out into nature, and I'm like, we are nature, like it's right here. And I understand what we mean. We're talking about, where are the trees, where's the clean water, where's the clean air. Like, I get it. I get that that's what we mean. I also believe that if we continue to look for it out there, it's always going to be further and further away from us, and we're going to continue to let it be cut down, and all the other things that are easier to agree to when we don't recognize that it's ourselves that it's happening to. That's a big conversation. So I'm offering this sidereal exploration, and I work with my tropical and sidereal together sometimes. Right now I have my tropical in mind, so I'm just looking at my sidereal chart at this point, because even though I've been sitting with that one for some years now, I don't, it makes a lot of sense to me, but there's also so much about it that I'm just super curious about, and I haven't embodied yet. Or it is also possible that it is embodied, and I'm learning to recognize it, which is one of the reasons why the sidereal is so interesting to me, because one of my theories about that perspective, and sidereal, for those of you who haven't heard this before, true sidereal, and I'm still learning the nuances. There's sidereal and there's true sidereal. Don't even get stuck on that. What you want to know is, in true sidereal, what people are saying is that we are looking at our relationship with the cosmos, the positioning of the stars and planets in real time. Where are they right now at this moment? Whereas in tropical, it is said that tropical is based on the seasonal alignment of the planets and stars. And that seasonal alignment is tied to a mathematical calculation that happened a couple thousand years ago, and it's still tight on that. So things are a little bit shifted in the tropical. I'm very interested in what is the relationship with this now moment. Like what, that just seems very compelling to me. It feels very compelling to me. Like it makes sense to me that I would now be, okay, what's going on now? And for myself, based on my own sitting with my charts and the other ways that I work with the nonverbal world, the symbolic language, is that I feel like the sidereal is the hidden layer. For me, it has been the hidden layer. I wasn't raised in it. So the tropical is like the external persona, and the sidereal is what has really been working beneath my external choices. And I want to get to know what that story is for myself and how it relates with what's happening outside of me. And I would like to help others do that as well. So for now, the chart is available on this website. The website is an experiment. So if it turns out not to be a popular thing, I won't continue the website because there is a cost to me that's involved with that website. So if you're not digging it, then we'll experiment with something else. But for now, this is what I'd like to offer. And then how, I haven't figured out the rest. I haven't figured out where we'll begin and what we'll talk about. But it would be so helpful if you would leave your thoughts in the comments and let me know what you know about sidereal and tropical. I am, there's so much precision and specificity that we can go into. So I want to restate or be clear if I have not been clear. My interest with it right now is more along the lines of storytelling and I'm going to use the word relationality. Maybe I made the word up. But it's not so much about knowing what a person's sun is in or what their Mars is in or what's opposing what. It's not so much about that for me. It's about who are the players in general and what is our relationship with Martian energy. For example, in tropical, when we talk about Mars and Aries, what I have been tuned into for most of my life is how immature and irrational and violent those two are qualities can be. Those two stories can be. But again, the one in me that questions is like, wait a minute. A warrior at some point has to wisen up. And not only has to, but if they've been through battle again and again and again, they start to learn there are just some things not worth fighting for. There's a maturation process that happens with a warrior. And in many cultures that are closer to their warrior lineage, they have an appreciation for the elder. So there's something happening with me with eldership. There's something happening with me with eldership and the maturation process. So allowing Mars and Aries to mature, those are the kinds of conversations that I'm interested in having. And those are dynamics that we have. We have an advocate within us. We have a mothering nature and a fathering nature within us. And like these are core human stories. So we will talk about aspects, oppositions, squares, because those are core human dynamics that we experience when we're out there in the world bumping up against people in our little human bumper cars. But I'm not so interested in talking about transits and things like that right now. There's so many good channels out there where you can do that. I am interested in developing some understanding about what the stories are in our individual codes. that we can then become more directive with, more responsive to. So there's that collaboration, that earthside collaboration, and more directive with, because we do, somebody said it today. I have to give a shout out to Elton Raw, RAW. He is reminding me of some Marco Polo call and response games that I played as a child. And there's other people, and I do hope to remember to shout them out as well, because I think that's also part of it. Like, I love networking, and I love the satellite of stars that I come into contact with. But oh man, what did he say? So I grew up in church. I grew up in a variety of churches with a variety of pastors, priests, and chaplains for over 2 decades of my life. And, we're created by God. And that's where it stopped. We're created by God, and we're subservient to God. He said, and he says a lot of things that are in here, and it's that call and response. I'm calling, and this person's responding with their own language. This person's calling, and I'm responding with what's inside of me. We do this all the time. This is why we need, even when we don't know what, if you feel that something wants to be expressed, paint it, write it, sing it, plant it, do it. But he said we are created in the image of God, which means we're here to create. Yes, that's one of my other sayings. Creativity is our superpower. So we have been given all of these beautiful breadcrumbs. I'm thinking of Hansel and Gretel in the woods. All of these beautiful breadcrumbs. And the red thread of Ariadne in the Minotaur's tomb. Like, these things just bring tears to my eyes. We have been telling these stories and like leaving one another life rafts for generations and millennia. And I want to help put us back in touch with those stories. Michael Meade is a beautiful myth keeper, story keeper. And Caroline Casey is a fantastic astrologer who talks to your chart through myth and story. There are so many others. Those are the 2 I can think of right now. I'm going to go ahead and close out this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please, I welcome you to be on this ride with me. I have no idea where we're going, and I'm not going to try to make myself linear in my expression. So if you are up for that, play the videos in the background, come back to them as often as you like, share them. If you're into liking videos, please do that. That does help me reach more people. Right now I am trusting the magic of the numbers of the algorithm. I encourage you to go visit Elton Raw's video. I have mentioned him in other episodes. I'll do my best to remember to put him in the show notes here. He and some others have a really fun way of bringing us back out of this like fear mentality, bringing me out of a fear mentality around digital tools and technology, which is a beast and can also be a beast of service. So I'm playing with that idea right now. Thank you so much. I'll be back. We'll be back together.